All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to unpack the incredible story behind Ethiopia's changing population. Seriously, it's one of the most powerful demographic shifts happening anywhere in the world, and it's a story all about growth, youth, and, well, immense pressure.
Everything really kicks off with this one number, over 120 million people. But a number that big is never just a statistic. Behind it is this story of unbelievably rapid, transformative change that's been building for decades.
And when I say rapid, I mean it. This population boom is one of the fastest on the entire African continent. This kind of growth doesn't just change the census numbers, it is fundamentally reshaping the entire nation, literally from the ground up.
Okay, so first things first, let's really place Ethiopia on the map, demographically speaking. Its role as a true population giant is the engine that's driving every single thing we're about to talk about.
So, when you think about population in Africa, your mind probably jumps straight to Nigeria, right? And yeah, that's fair. But look at this. Ethiopia is solidly in that number 2 spot. Honestly, these two countries are in a demographic league of their own on the continent.
Now, this explosive growth, it isn't something that just happened overnight. The real acceleration kicked into high gear way back in the 1960s. It was driven mostly by a consistently high birth rate, which created this incredible momentum that's carried on for decades, leading to the massive population we're seeing today.
So that's the how many. The next big question is, where? With over 120 million people, where is everybody actually living? And as you can probably guess, the answer is definitely not everywhere equally.
This is a perfect way to picture it. If you think of Ethiopia as one giant house, you find a few rooms just packed shoulder to shoulder with people, while a bunch of other rooms would be almost totally empty. This incredibly uneven distribution is one of the country's defining features.
And the reason it's so uneven really just boils down to geography. Most people are clustered up in the highlands. Why? Because that's where you find good rainfall and fertile soil, the things you need for farming and for life. The lowlands, on the other hand, are hot and dry, and as you can see, very sparsely populated. It's a classic story of the land itself shaping where people can live.
Okay, so we know how many people there are and we know where they live. But the next piece of the puzzle, and honestly maybe the most critical piece, is who they are. And the overwhelming answer to that is they are young. Really young.
I mean, just look at this chart. The slice of the population that's under the age of 15 is just immense. This isn't just a small tilt towards youth, it's a massive demographic wave, a youth bulge that has these profound consequences for pretty much every aspect of the country's future.
So what does that actually mean on the ground? Well, for starters, it means huge, unrelenting pressure on the school system. It means a massive and growing demand for healthcare. And maybe the most urgent thing of all, it means an enormous wave of young people is about to hit the workforce, and they are all going to need jobs. Now, a massive, young population like this, it doesn't just stand still. The search for those very same opportunities we just talked about is sparking another major trend, a powerful, relentless pull toward the cities. The logic here is pretty straightforward. It starts with that search for work, for a better life. That pull drives people to move from rural areas into urban centers. The result? You get rapid urbanization. But that, in turn, creates a brand new challenge, a huge strain on city services and infrastructure that were never built for this many people.
This quote really gets to the human heart of it all. This isn't just some abstract trend we're looking at on a chart. It's millions of individual people making individual decisions, all driven by that same fundamental desire for a better shot at life. And that's what's pulling an entire generation toward the cities.
So let's pull all these threads together now. We've got a huge, fast-growing, and incredibly young population. And that population is rapidly moving into cities. All of this sets the stage for the core challenge at the very heart of Ethiopia's story today.
This is the fundamental question, isn't it? It's the classic conflict. You have a growing human footprint on one side, and on the other, you have an environment with limits. How this conflict gets resolved will basically define Ethiopia's future.
And you can see the consequences laid out right here, clear as day. The intense pressure from the population, that's the cause. And the effects? Well, more people need more land, for farms, for homes. That leads directly to deforestation. And when the trees are gone, you get land degradation and a drop in the fertility of the soil itself.
And this, of course, brings us to the ultimate human impact. This isn't some abstract environmental problem. When the land becomes less and less productive, it creates a monumental challenge. How do you ensure there's enough food for more than 120 million people?
So we're left with this incredible paradox. This enormous wave of young people represents unbelievable potential, a demographic dividend that could power the economy for decades to come. But at the same time, it's the very source of this immense pressure on resources, on services, on the land itself. So which one will it be? A resource or a challenge? That is the central question we'll all be watching.